Investment advisory and financial planning services are offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. SEC registration does not constitute nor endorse of the firm, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill nor ability. Investing involves risk of loss. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through Diamond Life Planning is a separate and unaffiliated entity from Simplicity Wealth. This information is provided as a general information that is not intended to be specific financial guidance. Before you make any decisions regarding your personal financial situation, you should consult a financial or tax professional to discuss your individual circumstances and objectives.
Welcome to the Rock My Finances show on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV, where we put the fun in finance. Join Powerhouse Jennifer Jost, CDFA, CMC, and Private Wealth Advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros, so what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Jost.
Welcome to Rock My Finances. Glad you're all here today. I have an amazing guest. I'm so excited to introduce her to you. It's all about resilient leadership. And if you know anything about me or my story or my past, anything that we talk about on this podcast, you're going to know that I am one resilient woman. And so I cannot wait to have Michelle on here. We're going to have a great conversation. Come on in, Michelle. Great to meet you.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
This is going to be a great talk. So Michelle did a TEDx, y'all. TEDx talk, which, is so amazing. So you check her out there for sure. But let me get to some nitty gritty with you, Michelle. Tell me about what got you into resiliency, leadership, all the stuff that you talk about, mental health, everything that you're spending your life doing. What got you into that?
Yeah, it's been an evolution to arrive at resilience as a topic. But I will say it started with growing up with my mom, who is bipolar, and caring for her and hanging on for the roller coaster ride of her emotions as a little one, absorbing those emotions, going through my own healing journey as an adult to figure out how that affected me. And then honoring her by wanting to proactively help people feel better without waiting to hit burnout or waiting to hit depression. So it's been sort of a labor of love, right? Like I had a story, I told my story on the TED stage about my mom, what that was like. It led me to write a memoir about my mom. But then ultimately I was like, why are we waiting to talk about this? Why are we not talking about it ahead of time? And why didn't my mom do things proactively? Why did she just wait until she hit, a manic episode or, a breakdown? So I decided to flip it on its head and say, let's start talking about what we can be doing, what we have agency over every day to preserve our well-being and take better care of ourselves.
I love that. And I'm going to dive in with that word agency. Yeah. So I have friends that use it, friends that have no idea what it means. What is your definition of agency?
I think it's just to remember where the line in the sand is that you have control over, where you have empowerment versus what is on the other side of that line that you don't have a say in. So it's really reclaiming what is ours is how I see it.
I like that. So I would say it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Agency is something that I can control my emotions. I can control my words. I can control my behavior and my actions, my thoughts, feelings, all that. That's my responsibility. So I just had a friend the other day tell me she was complaining about her friends and she was saying he made her do this and he took all her power away. And I thought, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
She gave him her power. He can't make her do anything. Like she chose to do that.
Yeah.
So she's not claiming her own agency. Does that make sense? Is that a right statement?
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to learn how to use that word agency better because I know it's coming out a lot more.
Yeah.
That's great. And growing up with a bipolar mom, wow, you were flip-flop. You had no idea what was going to happen. So I grew up in an alcoholic home, dysfunctional home. So I can absolutely relate with you on that. I had no idea what I was going to walk in to the door with, what I came home from school, when I woke up in the morning, when they came home at night. I had no idea what was going to happen. So I just want to pat us on the back because we survived and we're awesome. And we have some amazing traits from that dysfunction. And I love that you're putting it to good works here as well.
Yeah.
So I read your website. Did your TED Talk and everything. Let me ask you, what is identity shifting?
Identity shifting. So it's really recognizing the future state of where you want to be and pulling yourself through to that before it's your reality. So when I think about identity shifting, it's being your future self now. Even if it's not your reality, you're being that person now, and that's going to shift you.
I love that. Okay, so I've never heard it put that way. So I had a coach back in the day who helped me just tremendously. And she called my higher self the priestess. The priestess just absolutely knows why she's here and what she's doing, and she sees her future self. Mm-hmm. So I named my little priestess Star. So my little priestess name is Star, and that is my future self that knows all and that knows why she's here. And she is like my manifestation of my best life. Is that the thing?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And whenever you visualize that, you're pulling yourself to that reality.
Yeah. So I need to spend more time with Star. I can hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I love that. And innate personal insight. Is that kind of like intuition?
I feel like it is. I feel, so many people that I talk to, they're not quiet. They don't get quiet enough to hear their inner voice because they're at the effects of a very busy and very loud and confusing world that we live in. And yeah, I would say, and most people are waiting for their external circumstances to be different instead of realizing that it can come from within by just going and getting connected to that inner self and that inner guidance, and that peacefulness that we forget is easily accessible to us if we just turn off the noise,
which is not easy, right? It's a practice,
and it's a dopamine hit to continuously be hit with information and correspondence and whatever. It's giving us that dopamine fix. So it's really hard to go within and be quiet and connect to your inner voice that knows exactly what the next step should be for you.
Yeah, that's so true. It's scary. I started meditating and it took me so long because you're right. All the thoughts and feelings, my thing is the F word, right? It's all about the feelings.
Yeah.
And it's about how you feel about it. And so those feelings do pop up when you're sitting still.
Yeah.
And you're quiet. So I think it deters people. So that makes total sense. Innate personal insight. And I'm a single woman. I've been single for a long time. And my requirement of a partner, if I ever did that, would be you need to know yourself because I have no time to be figuring you out. You need to know yourself like I know myself.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's something so beautiful about two people who are self-aware coming together and co-creating something from a place of wholeness,
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I love it. Okay, so many women are juggling so much, and we don't know that we're on the edge of overload, or we don't know that we actually need to slow down and do that. And we hear it, we need to meditate, all that kind of thing. But what are some subtle signs or something that women can go, oh, I really need to shift my thinking and my practices right now? What's something that comes up for people?
So this for me goes back to agency because most people are running on autopilot.
Yes.
They're not intentional about how they start their day. They're not intentional about practices that they know are going to restore and give them a place to recover and recalibrate because they're constantly, and I'll speak for, the women in my life who are constantly in service of other people, whether it be their children or their work obligations, that they're not being intentional about their time and their practices to reserve some time for them to recharge and recalibrate on the regular instead of waiting until they're thoroughly exhausted So it's reclaiming agency and creating proactively what is your routine so that you don't get to the point where you're like feeling like you got one foot on a banana peel and you're about to, lose it. So the signs are, if you feel like you're just at the effects of your life, and most people do, they just feel like they're at the effects of their life, right? I have this responsibility followed by this one, followed by this one. And maybe before I go to bed, if I have a minute, I'll watch a Netflix series and that'll fill my cup. But reality is it won't fill your cup. It's not nearly enough for you to do something like that and think that that's enough rejuvenation for the next day.
I love that. So true. So many people, right?
Oh, yeah.
And in my coaching program, I'm a certified money coach and I do a coaching program. I'm so glad you're saying what you're saying, because that means I'm good, because I have everyone start off with a morning routine.
Yeah.
And then a nighttime routine, and then breaths throughout the day. I literally had to set an alarm on my phone to breathe. Like, it just was I was exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
Like I was at effect of everything. And it was scary to slow down.
I think most people don't realize how powerful reserving a small amount of time for themselves in the beginning of the day is, because it is a signal to your day that I'm the one in the cockpit of my life, and I choose to start my day with some intentionality so that I get to say how things go. It's not like, you don't have to do 15 things. It's just about having a slow morning, a calm morning, an intentional morning. And that could be as little as 15, 20 minutes just for you to not be at the effects of the noise of the phone, the noise of the computer. But that has a domino effect to your energy and how you show up throughout the day. So it's I don't like people to think of it as something that is just something else they have to do to feel good. I want them to realize, no, try it. Give yourself 15 minutes just for you in the morning and see the difference yourself of how you feel as you drive to work or start your morning after you've replenished yourself a little bit.
I love that. What are some things that they should start to test out? Because I know some things work for other people, but in that 15 minutes.
It's funny, like Jay Shetty talks about how you shouldn't grab your phone when you wake up. And it's a little thing like that. Come on, like, there's a lot of noise, whether it's social media or your email, your brain is just waking up. It's very tender in those moments. It oftentimes, if you don't look at your phone and you go and you take a shower, you'll have brilliant ideas, but those brilliant ideas would never surface if you were like checking out the news for 45 minutes, because it would get lost in the sauce. So, for me, it's like, take 15 minutes, don't look at your phone, maybe sit down, have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, maybe reflect on 3 things that are going well in your life. Because if we reflect on the things, if we give that our attention to start the day, we're giving ourselves a shot at having a good day, versus being at the effects of the news and all the things you can't impact, the things that piss you off. Like, give yourself a shot to have a good day. Just sit down, have a cup of coffee, light a candle. Think about some things that really make you feel good, that are going well, and give yourself that oxygen mask.
I love that. I have been doing, and mine shifts throughout the years. So it's so cold here right now. It's wintertime. So I'm staying in bed and I'm doing my red light therapy in the morning. I do like a 5-minute of journaling, 5-minute of music, and then 5-minute of movement. But I've changed all that to my red light therapy right now. And you're right. The ideas are amazing. I have my phone in the other room, so I don't pick it up, because that, like you said, just blows it all out. You just never know what's going to happen after that.
Yeah.
I love that. So what does, let me ask you this. Do you see a difference when you are training these people? I know you have huge credentials and you're going to corporate and you're helping corporate figure out resiliency, and just mental health goes along with all of that. Do you see a difference in men and women that are stepping into the resiliency?
I see a difference in that when I first start, for example, to coach someone, they often don't have any structure in their life to fill their cup, and just giving them micro shifts. I'm all about micro shifts. Like, don't try to boil the ocean. Just kind of do one or two things, see how that feels, and do it consistently, and then come back and talk to me. So I see the greatest difference is in something as simple as the morning routine and being held accountable to that, right? Like being held accountable to try that 3 times for the first week. And well, if that went well, then maybe next week you do it for 5. Like, it's completely up to you. But giving them a chance to feel different and feel better is amazing, because they do. And so if you can get that foundation in place, then it's like, okay, well, what else could I be doing that's going to help me feel good? I think we forget how good we can feel, because we become so, on the hamster wheel of responsibility that, we think that what we're tolerating is okay. But I reintroduce to people, like, no, you can and you should feel better, and you can do that just by doing small little things.
I love that. And you're right. And we can and should. We don't realize that when we do feel better, it's like, wow, how come I haven't felt like this?
Yeah.
So that brings me to the word boundary. I know it's overused so much, but that's like intertwined with everything that you're saying. Like, when we set better boundaries for ourselves, we can do everything that you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. I mean, I think, we forget that oftentimes when we say yes to other people without thinking about that or the impact it has on us, we are not valuing ourselves and our time. Like, sometimes to say no to something, an obligation or a nice to do, means saying yes to you. And if you need to maybe take inventory and say, am I saying yes to me enough? That could be the very first step. We're givers as women. We're givers. Someone asked you to do something. I'm not letting them down, but are you letting you down? So you have to think about that and just create more of a balance with that. And honestly, people will treat you the way that you, whatever you tolerate, right? Like, we teach people how to treat us by what we tolerate. So if someone's constantly, encroaching on a boundary and not respecting you, that's a problem. That's a problem. You have to retrain them. Like, I love that saying, you're the CEO of your life. You can hire, fire, demote anyone else around you, but you ultimately are the CEO. You get to say who gets your attention, who gets your focus, who is the most in your ears, because those ears are precious. So we have to do that. We have to do a better job.
I love that. And then a lot of women, we are leaders. We're leaders at work. We're leaders at home. We're leaders in our community. And then we'll do so much for our community, like you said, instead of ourselves. And the best thing we can do is be a role model of taking care of ourselves for our community.
And that starts with your energy before you even open your mouth. I just did a post on calm energy and calm leadership. Oh. Like, how you show up before you even speak, people pick up on that. You can either create a sense of calm, a sense of confidence within your team, or chaos, right? So a regulated leader influences people around them. So what does it take to be regulated? Well, you have to fill your cup. You have to be balanced. You have to have had a good night's sleep. You have to have taken a few moments for yourself. Then that gives you capacity to show up as that calm, leader that other people are going to pay more attention to, because your presence is loud.
I love that, because we are, as Oprah said, we're responsible for the energy that we bring into the room.
So true.
And it's catchy.
It is. It is. But also, like, the leaders that inspire you, you're like, wow, why are they so unshakable? And it's because they're grounded. It's because they're nourished. It's because they've created that balance so they can show up that way. And I think that's kind of how I want to influence the people around me, is how I show up and handle scenarios, gives them maybe some inspiration that they can do the same.
I love that. And so a morning ritual taking some time for ourselves. Of course, meditation, we've always saying that, but just some quiet time. It could be a walk. It could be like I have a hot tub. I go in the hot tub quite often. That's like my quiet time.
Yes.
What, like an evening ritual? I mean, because for me, I have to wind down before I can go to sleep in order to wake up the time I want to wake up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, how about just guarding your sleep? Most people don't guard their sleep. Like, I love an evening ritual, but you can have an evening ritual if you're only giving yourself 6 hours of sleep because that's what you've been running on and you don't know any different. I would challenge you to say, imagine what you might feel like if you got like 7 or 8 hours of sleep. So are you protecting your sleep? Because listen, it's inevitable that stress is always going to be there in our day-to-day lives. The only way that we'll be able to handle stress without it devouring us is that we are feeling good, and that means well rested and ready to like ebb and flow with the stress versus it's taken me down. I've only gotten 5 hours of sleep last night. I don't know why I'm so short. Well, I assure you, it might have something to do with that. So I say guard your sleep and try to play around with getting more sleep to see how that affects your energy and your resilience.
That's great. And like you said, our emotions, like if I'm sleep deprived, I am not going to be nice.
Right.
I mean, you can't hold everyone and everything if we don't sleep well. And here's my thing that I learned. My stomach is flat when I get 8 hours of sleep because the cortisol being taken care of. So there's another reason to do it, Michelle's saying.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you want to be regulated and be able to handle the most challenging situations, give yourself a shot, come to the game of life fueled and ready to go.
I love it. Oh my gosh, Michelle, I've so enjoyed our talk today. Thank you so much. Everyone check out her TED Talk. Check Michelle out. She's amazing. The more we can spread this information, the more we're all going to have peace and harmony and calm and clarity in our lives. Michelle, thank you so much for being on the show. And I hope that everybody could put this into place so that when you sit down and do your money date, you can say, hey, I rock my finances.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer right here on K4HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. It's not about the zero, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.